No, okay, my laptop doesn't sleep when I close it. I accidentally, when I looked behind my laptop, I accidentally pressed on the click key, and the mouse was exactly on top of the stop streaming button because I hadn't moved it from when I started the stream. All right, I'm back. I'm back, and I have Franck Etienne, Haitian author who survived the what's his name? Let me give some historical context. I can just find his yeah. Oh, look at this. Look at this baller. Haitian writer, poet, playwright, painter, musician, activist, and intellectual. He writes in both French and Haitian Creole. And oh, okay. There isn't that much here about his life. He there are a lot of references to the Duvalier dictatorship and the violence of that time. He looks like a French version of Sean Connery. Yeah, kind of. So just to give some context. But what's nice, he is the style of writing for his books is something he calls beginning, no end. Well, different small passages that are wait, is lagging again? I don't know. This time it's Twitch's fault. That's not English. That is not English. It has small passages like this, and what's amazing is that he has the themes of his writing are also in the nature of a spiral. You know, I can't read French, right? Yeah, I just wanted to show the topography. Wait, where's there a virus here? Did you see something? Oh yeah, le virus de l'ego dans les pratiques individuelles. The virus of the ego, defecation. Okay, look, this is the reason I was thinking of this because this is one of the authors that I really like who incorporates the gruesome reality of living with the beauty of poetry. He isn't trying to depict some kind of like magical fairyland where you don't have any any of the negative aspects of life or fluid aspects of life where we're like this corporated body souls or whatever. He writes his texts with references to sex, to blood, tears, cum, the sea, animals, and also flowers, and also beautiful things. But there's there is something very very beautiful to be had when an author acknowledges all those things that make up life. We're not just those like magical souls um that look at reality from on high and stuff. All right. Au nœud gordien de la morale, un conflit entre le bien et le mal, la défécation quotidienne, la sorcellerie des eaux en fête sous les griffures du vent, les âmes persécutrices exaspérées au souffle contraire des fleurs, les armes exécutrices déchalborant les coquilles d'or, flexion au passage du couperet, crucifixion de tous ceux-là qui sont passés dans cette chambre avant moi, le corps subtil dans la fragilité des illusions, l'état second un nœud d'obsession, un tumulte d'abeilles dans les glauques profondeurs des plaies gorgées de miel, la turbulence de l'aube aux entrailles des Antilles myrianées d'arc-en-ciel indéchiffrables et de miscellanées exotiques déroutantes, itinéraire de la démocratie, le doute, l'enfer aux dentelles du naufrage. Molle mémoire de terre humide dans l'érection des ruines et le murmure des racines. Témoignage disloqué dans le démembrement des syllabes délabrées. Amour et jalousie, tendresse et barbarie. Pour survivre, je me nourrissais de l'humus, de mes plaies et de mes pourritures. Il va falloir bouger jusqu'au bout de mon âme. Or, je piaffe au versant du délire étouffé. Aux écluses de la langue, les métaphores se figent en un détour plein de terreur. La crispation des cris sur des lèvres impaires. Un incendie de ronces au buissonnement du temps. La vibration d'un rien qui cherche un corps à naître. Why do I feel the sudden urge to get a tank? Gehirn hier, Why am I googling a route to Belgium? Look. Let's solve this in honorable PvP, okay? No need to involve the rest of the country in this. Honorable PvP. En plein sabbat, là-bas, dans le pétrole amer où meurent les cormorans, s'électrolyse mon âme. Espace et rythme où je m'enfonce et disparais. Je cherche ma propre définition au spasme du silence. Un albatros s'envole, hors des débris atroces du vent saoul de rapine. Mon cœur saigne. Mes plaies s'allument sous une pluie de fruits mûrs, grappes d'oiseaux harcelés, expulsion des fenêtres asphyxiées de cauchemars, hardes blanches de mes nuits, la gloutonnerie sexuelle de mes bêtes érotiques, douleur-lumière en la violence de mes syllabes. Au tranchant de l'arête que je viens de franchir, l'incommunicable brûlure des expériences austères, porte close dans le mystérieux magma des mots, jeu de pure dissidence, une œuvre d'insoumission. I don't know. I can try translating some of it to help you understand what kind of what he's talking about. En plein sabbat, là-bas, dans le pétrole amer où meurent les cormorans, s'électrolyse mon âme. And at the time of the Shabbat, over there, in the bitter oil, where die the cormorant. Wait, that's a bird. Cormoran. I think that's similar in English. Let me just check. Cormorant. Yeah. Okay. Good. In the bitter. Oh, wait. There was a paper in here. Okay, never mind. Nothing important. In the bitter oil where the cormorants die, my soul is electrolyzed. Space and rhythm within which I sink in and disappear. I seek my own definition for the spasms of silence. An albatross flies up, away from the atrocious debris of the wind. Drunk on rapine would be kidnapping. That's a tough one to translate. Let me. Plundered. Yeah, on the wind. Did you see my political compass? No, I didn't see it. Link it to me. On the wind, drunk on plunder. My heart bleeds. My mes plaies. Oh goddamn, translating is hard. Okay. My wounds. Okay, right. All right, let me click. Huh. We're all liberal lefties. My wounds light up under a rain of ripe fruit. Grappe. Wait. Okay, that's another one that I. A cluster of It's weird because you know the words but not the appropriate word in English. Yeah, it's tough. Okay, look. This is amazing poetry. I'm not gonna go too far in translating it because it's really hard, and I'd rather prepare it and just instead of doing it live. I'm not that comfortable. What I'm gonna do, like if we're actually doing reading memes, there is one poetry book that I was thinking of reading. If I can find my copy. Okay, no. I cannot find my copy. I did find a second copy of this author's another copy of a different book of this author's, which I is really nice because it has plenty of yeah, there's like plenty of stuff hidden inside this book. Oh, I got like postal cards here. That I was supposed to give them to my friends, but I forgot. Because then there was lockdown. This is a fun one. Satanist rabbit. Um, electronic banana. Wow. This is from China. This is old. This is from like 2 or 3 years ago when I was in China back then. A couple like postcards from then. There you go. Wowie. Don't suppose there's anyone in chat that can identify whether knee pain might require medical assistance. Yeah. Oh, damn. I would not recommend turning to chat for that, I guess, but. Okay, I know there's like some leaves in this book hidden. Anyways, oh yeah, there we go. Got a little this is from Vine? I don't know. Anyways. There is a cannabis leaf somewhere somewhere in this book. Doesn't matter. Well, I was thinking about eventually reading on stream if we're actually going down those memes. I was thinking about Leaves of Grass because it's in the public domain. And it's one of my favorite pieces of poetry, honestly. Oneself I sing, a simple separate person, yet utter the word democratic, the word... Wait, that's not the first edition. This is not the first edition. I have the first edition, even though I cannot find it right now. I want the first edition. The very first one. The one and only. Okay, on archive.org, maybe? There we go. Okay, we can skip the preface. Oh, there you go. Song of Myself. I celebrate myself, and what I assume you shall assume, for every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. I loaf and invite my soul. I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spare of summer grass. Houses and roof perfumes, the shelves are crowded with perfumes. I breathe the fragrance myself, and know it and I like it. The distillation would intoxicate me also, but I shall not let it. The atmosphere is not a perfume. It has no taste of the distillation. It is odorless. It is for my mouth forever. I am in love with it. I will go to the bank by the wood and become undisguised and naked. I am mad for it to be in contact with me. The smoke of my own breath, echoes, ripples, and buzzed whispers, love root, silk thread, crotch, and vine, my respiration and inspiration, the beating of my heart, the passing of blood, and the sniff of green leaves and dry leaves, and of the shore and dark-colored sea rocks, and of the hay in the barn. The sound of the belched words of my voice, words loosed to the eddies of the wind, a few light kisses, a few embraces, a reaching around of arms, the play of shine and shade on the trees as the supple boughs wag, the delight alone or in the rush of the streets or along the fields and the hillsides, the feeling of health, the full noon trill, the song of me rising from bed and meeting the sun. Have you reckoned 1,000 acres much? Have you reckoned the earth much? Have you practiced so long to learn to read? Have you felt so proud to get at the meaning of poems? Stop this day and night with me, and you shall possess the origin of all poems. You shall possess the good of the earth and sun. There are millions of suns left. You shall no longer take things at second or third hand, nor look through the eyes of the dead, nor feed on the spectres in books. You shall not look through my eyes either, nor take things from me. You shall listen to all sides and filter them from yourself. I have heard what the talkers were talking, the talk of the beginning and the end, but I knew not talk of the beginning or the end. There was never any more inception than there is now, nor any more youth or age than there is now, and will never be any more perfection than there is now, nor any more heaven or hell than there is now. Urge and urge and urge, always the procreant urge of the world. Out of the dimness opposite equals advance, always substance and increase, always a knit of identity, always distinction, always a breed of life. To elaborate is no avail, learned and unlearned feel that it is so. Sure is the most certain sure, plumb in the uprights, well entreated, braced in the beams, stout as a horse, affectionate, haughty, electrical, I and this mystery here we stand. Clear and sweet is my soul, and clear and sweet is all that is not my soul. Lack one, lacks both, and the unseen is proved by the seen, till that becomes unseen and receives proof in its turn. Bro, are you drunk? No, I'm not drunk. Showing the best and dividing it from the worst, age vexes age. Knowing the perfect fitness and equanimity of things, while they discuss I am silent and go bathe and admire myself. Welcome is every organ and attribute of me, and of any man hearty and clean. Not an inch nor a particle of an inch is vile, and none shall be less familiar than the rest. I am satisfied. I see, dance, laugh, sing. As God comes a loving bedfellow and sleeps at my side all night and close on the peep of the day, and leaves for me baskets covered with white towels bulging the house with their plenty, shall I postpone my acceptation and realization and scream at my eyes that they turn from gazing after and down the road, and forthwith cipher and show me to assent exactly the contents of one and exactly the contents of two, and which is ahead? Trippers and askers surround me, people I meet, the effect upon me of my early life, of the ward and city I live in, of the nation, the latest news, discoveries, inventions, societies, authors old and new, my dinner, dress, associates, looks, business, compliments, dues, the real or fancied indifference of some man or woman I love, the sickness of one of my folks, or of myself, or ill-doing, or loss or lack of money, or depressions or exaltations, they come to me days and nights, and go from me again. But they are not the me myself. Apart from the pulling and hauling stands what I am, stands amused, complacent, compassionating, idle, unitary, looks down, is erect, bends an arm on an impalpable certain rest, looks with its side-curved head curious what will come next, both in and out of the game, and watching and wondering at it. Backward I see in my own days where I sweated through fog with linguists and contenders. I have no mockings or arguments, I witness and wait. I believe in you, my soul. The other I am must not abase itself to you, and you must not be abased to the other. Loaf with me on the grass. Loose the stop from your throat. Not words, not music or rhyme I want, not custom or lecture, not even the best, only the lull I like, the hum of your volved voice. I mind how we lay in June, such transparent summer morning. You settled your head athwart my hips and gently turned over upon me, and parted the shirt from my bosom bone, and plunged your tongue to my bare script heart, and reached till you felt my beard, and reached till you held my feet. Swiftly arose and spread around me the peace and joy and knowledge that pass all the art and argument of the earth. And I know that the hand of God is the elder hand of my own, and I know that the Spirit of God is the eldest brother of my own, and that all the men ever born are also my brothers, and the women my sisters and lovers, and that a kelson of the creation is love, and limitless are leaves stiff or drooping in the fields, and brown ants in the little wells beneath them, and mossy scabs of the worm fence, and heaped stones, and elder and mullein and pokeweed. A child said, "What is the grass?" fetching it to me with full hands. How could I answer the child? I do not know what it is any more than he. I guess it must be the flag of my disposition, out of hopeful green stuff woven. Or I guess it is the handkerchief of the Lord, a scented gift and remembrancer designedly dropped, bearing the owner's name some way in the corners that we may see and remark and say, whose? Or I guess the grass is itself a child, the produced babe of the vegetation. Or I guess it is a uniform hieroglyphic, and it means sprouting alike in broad zones and narrow zones, growing among black folks as among white, Canuck, Tuckahoe, Congressman, Cuff. I give them the same, I receive them the same. And now it seems to me the beautiful uncut hair of graves. Tenderly will I use you, curling grass. It may be you transpiring from the breasts of young men. It may be if I had known them, I would have loved them. It may be you are from old people and from women, and from offspring taken soon out of their mother's laps, and here you are the mother's laps. This grass is very dark to be from the white heads of old mothers, darker than the colourless beards of old men, dark to come from under the faint red roofs of mouths. Oh, I perceive after all so many uttering tongues, and I perceive they do not come from the roofs of mouths for nothing. I wish I could translate the hints about the dead young men and women, and the hints about old men and mothers, and the offspring taken soon out of their laps. What do you think has become of the young and old men? And what do you think has become of the women and children? They are alive and well somewhere. The smallest sprout shows there is really no death, and if there ever was, it led forward life, and does not wait at the end to arrest it, and ceased the moment life appeared. All goes onward and outward, and nothing collapses, and to die is different from what anyone supposed, and luckier. Has anyone supposed it lucky to be born? I hasten to inform him or her it is just as lucky to die, and I know it. I pass death with dying, and birth with the new-washed babe, and am not contained between my hat and boots, and peruse manifold objects no two alike, and every one good, the earth good, and the stars good, and their adjuncts all good. I am not an earth or an adjunct of an earth. I am the mate and companion of people, all just as immortal and fathomless as myself. They do not know how immortal, but I know. Every kind for itself and its own. For me, mine, male and female. For me, all that have been boys and that love women. For me, the man that is proud and feels how it stings to be slighted. For me, the sweetheart and the old maid. For me, mothers and the mothers of mothers. For me, lips that have smiled, eyes that have shed tears. For me, children and the begetters of children. Who need be afraid of the merge? Undrape. You are not guilty to me, nor stale nor discarded. I see through the broadcloth and gingham whether or no, and am round, tenacious, acquisitive, tireless, and can never be shaken away. The little one sleeps in its cradle. I lift the gaze and look a long time, and silently brush away flies with my hand. The youngster and the red-faced girl turn aside up the bushy hill. I peeringly view them from the top. The suicide sprawls on the bloody floor of the bedroom. It is so. I witness the corpse. There the pistol had fallen. The blab of the pave, tires of carts and slough of boot soles, and talk of the promenaders. The heavy omnibus, the driver with his interrogating thumb, the clank of the shod horses on the granite floor. The carnival of sleighs, the clinking and shouted jokes and pelts of snowballs, the hurrahs for popular favorites, the fury of roused mobs, the flap of the curtained litter, the sick man inside, borne to the hospital. The meeting of enemies, the sudden oath, the blows and fall, the excited crowd, the policeman with his star quickly working his passage to the center of the crowd, the impassive stones that receive and return so many echoes, the souls moving along. Are they invisible while the least atom of the stones is visible? What groans of overfed or half-starved who fall on the flags sunstruck or in fits? What exclamations of women taken suddenly who hurry home and give birth to babes? What living and buried speech is always vibrating here? What howls restrained by decorum? Arrests of criminals, slights, adulterous offers made, acceptances, rejections with convex lips. I mind them or the resonance of them. I come again and again. The big doors of the country barns stand open and ready. The dried grass of the harvest time loads the slow-drawn wagon. The clear light plays on the brown, gray, and green intertinged. The armfuls are backed to the sagging mow. I am there, I help. I came stretched atop of the load. I felt its soft jolts, one leg reclined on the other. I jump from the crossbeams and seize the Clover and Timothy, and roll head over heels, and tangle my hair full of wisps. Alone, far in the wilds and mountains I hunt, wandering amazed at my own lightness and glee. In the late afternoon, choosing a safe spot to pass the night, kindling a fire and broiling the fresh-killed game, soundly falling asleep on the gathered leaves, my dog and gun by my side. The Yankee clipper is under her 3 skysails. She cuts the sparkle and scud. My eyes settle the land. I bend at her prow, or shout joyously from the deck. The boatmen and clam diggers arose early and stopped for me. I tucked my trouser ends in my boots and went and had a good time. You should have been with us that day round the chowder kettle. I saw the marriage of the trapper in the open air in the far west. The bride was a red girl. Her father and his friends sat nearby cross-legged and dumbly smoking. They had moccasins to their feet and large thick blankets hanging from their shoulders. On a bank lounged the trapper. He was dressed mostly in skins. His luxuriant beard and curls protected his neck. One hand rested on his rifle. The other hand held firmly the wrist of the red girl. She had long eyelashes. Her head was bare. Her coarse, straight locks descended upon her voluptuous limbs and reached to her feet. The runaway slave came to my house and stopped outside. I heard his motions crackling the twigs of the woodpile. Through the swung half-door of the kitchen I saw him limpsy and weak, and went where he sat on a log, and led him in and assured him, and brought water and filled a tub for his sweated body and bruised feet, and gave him a room that entered from my own, and gave him some coarse, clean clothes, and remember perfectly his revolving eyes and his awkwardness, and remember putting plasters on the galls of his neck and ankles. He stayed with me a week before he was recuperated and passed north. I had him sit next to me at the table. My firelock leaned in the corner. 28 young men bathed by the shore. 28 young men, also friendly. 28 years of womanly life, and also lonesome. She owns the fine house by the rise of the bank. She hides handsome and richly dressed aft the blinds of the window. Which of the young men does she like the best? Ah, the homeliest of them is beautiful to her. Where are you off to, lady? For I see you. You splash in the water there, yet stay stock still in your room. Dancing and laughing along the bench came the 29th bather. The rest did not see her, but she saw them and loved them. The beards of the young men glistened with wet. It ran from their long hair. Little streams passed all over their bodies. An unseen hand also passed over their bodies. It descended tremblingly from the temples and ribs. The young men float on their backs, their white bellies swell to the sun. They do not ask who seizes fast to them. They do not know who puffs and declines with pendant and bending arc. They do not think whom they souse with spray. The butcher boy puts off his killing clothes, or sharpens his knife at the stall in the market. I loiter, enjoying his repartee and his shuffle and breakdown. Blacksmiths with grimed and hairy chests environ the anvil. Each has his main sledge. They are all out. There is a great heat in the fire. From the cinder-strewed threshold I follow their movements. The lithe sheer of their waists play even with their massive arms. Overhand the hammers roll, overhand so slow, overhand so sure. They do not hasten, each man hits in his place. The Negro holds firmly the reins of his 4 horses. The block swags underneath on his tied-over chain. The Negro that drives the huge dray of the stone yard, steady and tall, he stands poised on one leg on the string piece. His blue shirt exposes his ample neck and breast and loosens over his hip band. His glance is calm and commanding. He tosses the slouch of his hat away from his forehead. The sun falls on his crispy hair and mustache, falls on the black of his polished and perfect limbs. I behold the picturesque giant and love him, and I do not stop there. I go with the team also. In me the caresser of life wherever moving, backward as well as forward slewing, to niches aside and junior bending. Oxen that rattle the yoke or halt in the shade, what is it that you express in your eyes? It seems to me more than all the print I have read in my life. My tread scares the wood drake and the wood duck on my distant and day-long ramble. They rise together, they slowly circle around. I believe in those winged purposes, and acknowledge the red, yellow, and white playing within me, and consider the green and violet and the tufted crown intentional, and do not call the tortoise unworthy because she's not something else, and the mockingbird in the swamp never studied the gamut, yet trills pretty well to me, and the look of the bay mare shames silliness out of me. The wild gander leads his flock through the cool night. Ya honk, he says, and sounds it down to me like an invitation. The pert may suppose it meaningless, but I listen closer. I find its purpose and place up there towards the November sky. The sharp-hoofed moose of the north, the cat on the house sill, the chickadee, the prairie dog, the litter of the grunting sow as they tug at her teats, the brood of the turkey hen, and she with her half-spread wings. I see in them and myself at the same old law. The press of my foot to the earth springs 100 affections. They scorn the best I can do to relate them. I am enamored of growing outdoors, of men that live among cattle or taste of the ocean or woods, of the builders and seers of ships, of the wielders of axes and mauls, of the drivers of horses. I can eat and sleep with them week in and week out. What is commonest and cheapest and nearest and easiest is me. Me going in for my chances, spending for vast returns, adorning myself to bestow myself on the first that will take me, not asking the sky to come down to my goodwill, scattering freely forever. Okay, it continues on for a while. I think I'll stop here for a minute. Feel confused about getting a boner? Wait, how do you get a boner listening to that? Wow, what the fuck is this? This is Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. It's very beautiful poetry. Are you gonna watch The Expanse? You may as well watch a few eps. We're almost done. Look here, buddy. I stopped watching. What was it, episode 7 on where are you at now? Season 4, episode 1. No, I wanna finish season 3. I'll finish it on my own time. Okay. Like once I stopped watching it this morning, and I knew I wasn't gonna watch the rest of it with you guys. I love Leaves of Grass. I don't know if that was fun for you guys or not. It seems to have gotten mostly some weird champs out of you, but it's very nice. I think it's a beautiful piece of poetry, and the love and it's mostly to me about the love and compassion he conveys for all the people around him that I find particularly beautiful. Not my style, but I appreciate the rendition. All right. Thanks for the compliment. Yeah, I think I'll stop right now. I definitely need to drink some water now. This dried my mouth a lot to read this much. Alright, let me play some music while I'm away. Not have the stream be completely empty. I'm such a literary noob. I pretty much only have read Chuck Palahniuk stuff. I wanted to read Chuck Palahniuk at some point, but it didn't quite capture me, I guess would be the term. I definitely should give it a try again sometime. Chuck style is the only one. I definitely need to check it out again. Alright, let me play some music and get me. Oh god. Sorry for the mega loudness. Be right back. Gotta squeeze in a lemon. Drinking some water with some with half a lemon squeezed into it. It's nice. Books just don't really hold my attention. Chuck Style is the only one that seems to have worked for me. Non-fiction is maybe a good start since it's just a series of shorts. So you can get away with checking it out without much investment. Okay. The part I like is how he drops seemingly random anecdotes, but all build further the central theme of what the subject matter is about. The anecdotes are not themselves interesting, but have a purpose. I see. Yeah, so like drawing a bunch of threads together into one cohesive narrative. Right, let me check something. Where did I actually stop watching in The Expanse this morning? I'm pretty sure I do not want to continue watching with you guys at this point. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna. I didn't want to skip like half a season, anyways. What are we doing? I think I've exhausted a lot of a lot of the content I can make here. Unless we find some subject to talk about. But nah, this was a really long stream. God, it's already midnight. Oh yeah, I didn't realize. I have been wanting to do like reading stuff on stream for a while, though it probably worked, but I probably should like do it in the ASMR section. I was thinking of maybe doing it on like a weird schedule. Continue reading Leaves of Grass, and maybe doing it like in the dead hours. What would for me be like Sunday morning, something like that, and doing it in the ASMR section, and I don't know, just like chill and read stuff. Well, probably good pseudo YouTube bait content. Do it live, but use it for YouTube uploads. Yeah, something like that. And not even just as bait. It's actually something I enjoy doing. So. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop here. Thanks everyone for watching, for hanging out. You know, most of you already fucking left, you losers. Sure, I mean, you get the W's out. Yeah, for sure. Especially if I like actually stop the stream when if I do a reading stream and stop it and it's just reading, then I can upload the video without editing it, and it's straight into the ASMR whatever context. Yeah, you too, take it easy, Sign. Thanks for hanging out.